Okay, I'm on 31 days of retention, and something weird happens when you cross the 30-day marker. 30 days, cool, you're like celebrating, yeah, I made it. And then when it's 31, I mean, I'm sure people can relate. Then you're like, oh, I reached my goal. I wanted to reach 30 days. Sure, it's just the first milestone, but it feels like a big accomplishment, and suddenly your whole body relaxes, your nervous system relaxes, your brain relaxes, and it's like, okay, I already reached my 30 days. I can relapse. Not really relapse, but I can edge or something. I know doing it one time won't, destroy my streak. Not really. Like, I will still retain the benefits, and then I can build them up again. That's a dangerous thought because it's like the urges wanting to get their foot through the door, and once they are inside, they will not stop. With a high possibility, you will get sloppy, you will be like, okay, I could do it, I can do it again, and then you do it more often again without realizing. Something like this can happen. It's simply not necessary to entertain this. You don't need to be like such a scientist where you're like, oh yeah, but if I do it once, it's fine. Okay, but what if you just don't do it, huh? What about that? So this is now the situation, and your brain is like, it's just edging. It's not even a relapse, so nothing will happen from that. But you have to be smarter than that. So I was really thinking about maybe I should just do it. Then I went out because I had to throw out the trash. I see what a beautiful day it is. I will probably later just go for a walk, give myself some natural dopamine. Also later I went to the bathroom, I saw how my physique improved after I started retention, and from all the workout and bicycle driving at home and everything. Stuff where I put my energy into it instead of relapsing or edging. And this is also a great motivator. You cannot just stop because you reached 30 days. That's so ridiculous. And then what happens? Then you have to go again for another 30-day streak. You really accomplished something. Finally, you made it. You did the 30 days. Now is not the time to just stop it and go back and then do it all over again. This is not some lame game where you have to replay the first few levels all the time. You have to go further and conquer new horizons and see what's out there. Now you get used to the benefits. You're like, okay, yeah, I got some positive interactions. I was in the bar, whatever. People enjoyed me, so to speak. They paid attention to me. I again feel like I'm someone. I was seen. Like for me, this is an important issue. Like for different people, it's of course different. But yeah, you get your validation, and then you're a bit like satisfied, and you're like, okay, like I got what I needed. Now why not go back to edging a little bit? And that's of course the biggest issue, and then you have to rebuild it again, and you will be so frustrated once your positive attention and the benefits are gone. Now you feel so safe because you have them, so your brain relaxes, but the moment they're gone, you will be again frustrated, like for sure. For me, it doesn't take much to just go out and enjoy myself today in the sun and so on. So I can totally do that and just get over with the day. I mean, still later I will work for sure, but the problem is now it's early. I have a lot of time, I know it. And it's not always nice to just work off your ass. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just want to enjoy, do something positive. But it doesn't mean you need to dopamine max like crazy, like people who are edging or gooning or whatever, or even people who are like always taking drugs and so on. That's also dopamine maxing, and eventually it makes you more lustful. Like honestly, I consider, I will not reset my streak for that, but I consider taking weed or some pills that induce vivid dreams as a sort of micro relapse. It's not sexual in nature, so of course I don't reset my streak because of them, but they increase your urges, like honestly. And then you get a little payoff that you are like awkward for a second before you go back to your high energies. This is such a thing, like especially those pills that induce vivid dreams. The problem is that when you're on a streak, you get prone to wet dreams because of them. One time I had a wet dream that was the demon-like situation where there was like really a woman in my dream and wanting to sleep with me. And then there's this other type of wet dream where you are dreaming of relapsing. And these, in my opinion, are more dangerous. They suck more energy because if I see a woman in my dream, I already realize this is something I shouldn't do and this is just like a wet dream and I reject it and I wake up. But when it's one of those simulation dreams where you feel like you're just relapsing in your normal environment with laptop and your normal whatever you do, this is problematic because your brain tricks you into believing it's true and you don't realize it's a dream and you are indulging to some degree in the dream and then you wake up. And then it's also like a micro relapse, like you get your energy lowered for a sec before it comes back. So yeah, dopamine maxing is an issue. And be aware of this problem that when you go on a certain streak, you get contempt. Is this the right word? I mean, you get so satisfied and you think it's okay already, and then you're much more prone to doing something stupid. That's important to keep in mind. But yeah, you shouldn't just always work out every day like crazy, generating money like you're some kind of machine, just supposed to be a provider, you're a man after all. Like, what's your purpose other than building and whatever? No, come on, enjoy your life as well. You need to have a good time for yourself. Going on a walk can be great, and honestly, the type of dopamine hits that are actually conducive, they even have positive effect. Like going on a walk sometimes really can free your mind and you will process some thinking, come maybe to some conclusions and so on that you would not if you would stay at home, and it cannot even be compared to weed. Weed can also make you process and think and come to ideas. Indeed, like, but I don't know, but it's definitely not the same thing. Weed cannot even do what a long walk sometimes can do. But the real stuff does not work like the artificial stuff, you know? A drug can get you high every time and you will get something out of it, or at least it seems so. But when you go on a walk, that's another level, and you cannot just repeat it day by day. It has diminishing results. I mean, even drugs have diminishing results, but with walks, it's more obvious. You go out, like, first time it's super nice, and then you enjoy it a lot, and then when you do it repeatedly, it gets more and more boring as well. That's just how it is. But then you find something else to do. Then you're again motivated to work out and generate the money. That's the point. There's a healthy balance. But with drugs, you don't have it as much because they're so addictive and they make you want to do it all the time. And it's also diminishing benefits, but still you get something out from it, just like with edging, and you don't even realize. Yeah, but here we have just two ways to go as guys especially, but I mean as women as well, everyone. We have the lower and upper death drive. And for chosen ones, awake ones, who experience strong effect from retention, this is much more apparent because when we relapse, our life can get really bad, and when we stay on track, it gets really good. While for other people who are NPC and so on, it's much less obvious. So they keep in their sleep, so to speak. They don't wake up to the reality and don't change anything because they don't really are pushed to do it. But we ones that are awake, we souls, we really feel the lower and upper death drive. The lower death drive comes from indulgence and dopamine maxing behaviors like edging, drugs, and so on. And your life goes more and more into the bad direction. It's like a domino effect. It starts off slow, but it builds up and gets more and more bad the further you go, quicker and quicker, until you oftentimes eventually realize this is not going the way it should. And then you turn around the boat and go to the upper death drive again. It's called upper death drive because you're killing your ego, I guess. So yeah, you do that, you again retain and so on, and life improves. And for a while, for many people, this might be a back and forth because you go on streaks and then you relapse again, and then you're again in your lower death drive. And yeah, but eventually you stay more on track because you already, before relapsing, think to yourself, why should I again jump on the lower death drive? I've already been there. I know already the end of the story. I will just do it more and more, and eventually I will again go to the dark moment where I'm like, okay, I have to change something, and then you embark on another streak. So you can just skip forward and directly stay on streak, stay in your upper death drive. You have also to keep in mind we have two main urges or tendencies, how do you call them? Things that, yeah, main drives. You have two main drives. The first main drive, the most important one, is survival, and the second one that goes afterwards, second in priority, is reproduction. This is why you have such a strong urge to edge and relapse and so on, because of our reproductive drive. But our drive to survive is even stronger. This is oftentimes why when we get too much on a lower death drive, we eventually turn around the boat and go again on a streak, because our survival instinct kicks in, because we see that everything goes to shit. That's exactly what's going on here. Also, by the way, yeah, of course, you raise your frequency when you go on the upper death drive. Basically, you're pulling your energy upwards to your higher chakras. Lower death drives, when you have a lower death drive, your energy falls lower and lower into your root chakra. That is exactly about survival and so on. And your frequency get lower. And when your frequency rises, you of course attract better and better women as well. But you also have to keep in mind, like when you have a partner and she already is high frequency and you rise in your frequency, she can rise in her frequency together with you. Alright, so stay on track, don't relapse, see ya.